This is day 12 of the Get Wisdom Challenge. Welcome. We will be looking at Proverbs 12 today. I have a few verses to share, so I'll try and go through it quickly just so this video does not become too long. I apologize in advance for all the extra noise you might be hearing. The drying machine is running. I have something in the oven. This is real life. And so my apologies for the background noise. Okay, Proverbs 12, we'll jump right into it. I'll start with verse 4. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bone. Such a strong statement. Another version says, a worthy wife is a crown for her husband, but a disgraceful woman is like cancer in his bones. So what I got from this is that, here it talks about an excellent wife, but we can say an excellent spouse. It talks about that spouse being the crown of her husband, okay? So what I got from this is like, my husband or my spouse, he can be achieving in his workplace, he can be doing great in other areas, but it's how he's doing in the home, how he's doing with his wife that will determine the crown, that the crown that he wears is about what's ongoing on in his relationship. All that to say that, an excellent wife affects in a positive way her spouse. On the flip side, she who causes shame or is disgraceful is like rottenness in his bone. So that spouse that is disgraceful affects the person, not just outwardly, not just that she irritates him, but the disgrace, goes deep inside. It goes to affect the person in deep ways, like rottenness in his bone. So for me, I was asking myself, am I a crown to my husband? Does he consider me a crown, or am I causing him harm, if I can put it that way, as cancer is to the body? Let's go to verse 18 now, that says, there is one who speaks like a piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise promotes health. Some people make cutting remarks, that's another version, but the words of the wise bring healing. So what this verse reminded me is I have to be careful about what comes out of my mouth. I have to be careful about what I say to other people, because words rather have the power to pierce, to hurt, to cause harm. And then it says, but the tongue of the wise, so those that are wise, those that know how to control their tongue, they promote health. The words that come out of their mouth promotes health. And it made me think of Holy Spirit, who, he is the greatest rebuker of all time. He corrects us time and time and time again. But when he does so, we willingly accept it, because the way he does it is in such a positive and good way. So as such, me too, as a person that is wise, that wants to be wise, I have to be mindful of when I speak, even when I'm correcting someone, even when I'm addressing a sensitive issue, that I'm promoting health, that, as I leave the person, that the person would not be destroyed by my words, because there is a way to pass a message across. Now moving on to verse 24. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Another version says, work hard and become a leader, be lazy and become a slave. So this verse reminded me that, you will work. If you're diligent and you work and you do what needs to be done in your life, you will be in control of your own life. But if you're lazy, someone else will be in control of your life. So it's better to be diligent, to be persistent, to be consistent, and to be in control, and to rule over your choices and to rule over your life, than to have someone else do it because you were not able to. Next, we have verse 25 that says, anxiety in the heart of man causes depression, but a good words make it glad. So true. I've seen it time and time again as a nurse, how, anxiety, stress, worry, fear can affect the body. So here this verse is reminding us that, anxiety in our hearts can cause depression. It can make us sick. And I think that's why there's so many verses, that tells us to not be anxious about anything, that tell us to just, trust in the Lord, because God knows that if our body go through that stress for a long time, it can be affected. And then it says, but a good word makes it glad. And just a reminder that even with our words, we have the capacity to help someone that is in depression come out of it. Words, they seem so simple. Sometimes we think that, a little word, I'm not, saying that we need to invent and have something to say at all times, but sometimes simple words can be exactly what someone needs to come out of the situation that they're in. Another version of this verse says, worry weighs a person down, so true. An encouraging word cheers a person up. So, we might not be psychologists, we might not be doctors, we might not know much about what people are going through, but with our words, we can have somewhat of an impact, whether small or big, in someone's life. Then we move on to verse 26, which says, the righteous should choose his friends carefully, for the way of the wicked leads them astray. Okay? And I want again to read another version. The godly give good advice to their friends, the wicked lead them astray. Okay? So what it's saying here for me is that it reminded me I have to be mindful of the friends that I choose, because those that are wicked, if I can put it that way, they can lead me astray. Now, this verse is not saying that I should only have Christian friends, people that think like me. No, it's not saying that, because our mandate as Christians is clear, is to go and make disciples of all nations. So it's not saying that, but it's saying that as we go, we should not allow those that are maybe going astray to influence us. Rather, we should be the ones influencing them. And finally, verse 27, the lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is man's precious possession. Lazy people, another version, lazy people don't even cook the game they catch, but the diligent make use of everything they find. Here it's talking once again about laziness. I find in the chapters we've read so far, there are so many instances where they talk about laziness. Here they're saying that, a lazy man, he actually went out hunting. He got out of his bed and he went out hunting. There are some lazy people that would not even go out and go hunting, but this person did. But once he went hunting, he would not roast the meat that he got. So it talks about lazy people not finishing what they start. So as I'm thinking about this right now, even as I'm talking, I'm asking myself, do I finish what I start? Because that's, from here, what I see, it's a sign of laziness. So God, help us to finish what we start. Let's not be like this lazy person that actually went hunting. And hunting is not easy. You have to, it takes time, it takes energy. Once you catch the hunt, you have to take it back, and you have to get the skin off and all that stuff, depending on what you caught. It's a lot of work. So this person did all that, but then he was too lazy to roast. How sad is that? On the flip side, it talks about how diligence is man's precious possession. How being diligent, how being consistent, little steps, finishing what you started, keeping on, keep going on. This is man's precious possession. So even as I'm talking right now, this verse is really encouraging me to every day in the assignments that God has given me, just keep going, be diligent. That will be my precious possession. So that's it from Proverbs 12. I pray that you are blessed. Thank you for all the comments that you guys have been sharing. It's great reading what God has been telling you. And we will see each other once again tomorrow. You are blessed.